Hello, it's Tommy Sandhu here from the Tommy Sandhu podcast, about to speak to Arbinder Duggal. Arbinder is a chef. He's been on Masterchef. He's done many TV appearances now, and lots of Asian channels and stuff. You may have seen him on many programs, and including your kind of weekend cookery shows as well. This guy's all across media, but also he happened to be one of those people that I reached out to a few years ago, just because I saw him on telly, and we met up, we had coffees and drinks and chats, we spoke about food and plans and life and dreams and stuff, and I just had a lot of respect for him. I think he's got a lot to say. You'll hear about, the way in which he started his journey into food, and how his passion turns into a craft, and how seriously he takes it, and the difference between a chef and a cook. You're about to learn it all right now on the Tommy Sandhu podcast with Arbinder Duggal. Food, glorious food. That's what it's all about. Food. That's what I want to talk about, Arbinder. Food. Firstly, how are you? You all right? Higa?
I'm good, Tommy. Nice to see you after a long time.
Yeah, good to see you too. We're going to have a proper catch up today, but I got to kick off and say, I could talk about food all day long. My whole day evolves around food. I wake up, I'm thinking, how much did I eat last night? How do I feel this morning based on how late I ate? Lunch plans, everything is food. But for you, that must be on another level.
Food is it's an integral part of my life, my soul. It's what I do. It's what I think. Sleeping, waking up in the morning. I can't live without cooking the food. That's my passion. So
but most people just stick something in the oven. You know what I mean? We get a ready meal out, and we can stick those ready-made pizzas in the oven or whatever. Everything you do must be all like, I'm going to grow these herbs from scratch. I'm going to do this because I'm Arbinder and I'm a top chef. You don't do things half measured, but do you ever just kind of go, just have a cheese toasty?
No, the thing is that when you make the things from the scratch, it's a different feeling altogether. Your passion comes on, and you love it, you enjoy it. And if I make something for my clients for my tasting menus, like I do a lot of 6-course, 7-course tasting menu with the progressive Indian food, and when they eat the first bite, and that first bite, when it touch your soul with a wow, that's great. So that's where you get a lot of motivation, and you got a lot of satisfaction in it.
Yeah, and I can believe it. Okay, so just to put it in perspective, it's morning time now. We're recording this at 10 o'clock in the morning. But what did you have? What did you have today? What does Arbinder, who's been on MasterChef, who is a top chef, who does all these culinary experiences, all this fancy stuff for all your clients? What did you eat today? Go on.
I think I love eating fried egg in the morning. With the toasted bread. I think I can live with it every day in the morning. Yeah. So fried egg, a glass of nice juice, toasted bread. I think that's on the weekend is a different thing altogether.
What happens on the weekend? Home, game changer. What happens?
Weekend is more like all the families at home, and then you have to make a proper Punjabi breakfast. So pronte. No doubt, it has to be there. So
I learned what I liked was the way you shrugged your shoulders. Punjabi breakfast, pronte, has to be there. No doubt. It's like, like no one's going to argue with that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the currency. Okay, hold on a minute. We got so much to talk about. I've got to rewind back to the under, because the thing with the fried under is you get those crispy bits in the outside. Now, my kids don't like those. I don't really like that crispy bit of the under. I like it, like the McDonald's under. Sorry, is that a really offensive thing to say? The McDonald's under is perfect. It's round, perfectly round. It's nice, got nice thickness of the white bit. Whereas my egg kind of goes out and then it goes a bit crusty around the outside. Arbinder, help me. What am I doing wrong?
You need to cook all that fried egg in the ring on a very slow non-stick pan, and you won't get that crispiness. So that's the basic fundamental of it. Simple and straightforward.
So take it slow, is what you're saying, Arbinder. Take it nice
and slowly, not on a high heat. Take it slowly. Let it cook slowly, and you won't get that crispiness.
I love it. Tip number 1, how to cook an under. We'll start with the basic. Because I've got an under-shaped head, it's like an under-themed podcast, maybe. It's just, we want everybody to understand. So, coming back to the McDonald's thing, do you do a McDonald's breakfast? Because their hash browns are amazing. I don't think there's a better hash brown on the planet than the McDonald's hash brown.
I think it's more about how they produce it, how they bulk produce it, how this recipes has been standardized to make the hash browns and everything. But anything you make fresh at home, it will taste better. It will taste much. You know what you're eating. I don't let my little one go to McDonald's. McDonald's is a no-no in the house. So if she wants to eat anything, I will make fresh at home, whatever she wants to eat. And we normally don't venture it out too many in the restaurants. Even to be very honest, I don't really venture out too much eating in the restaurants. I do go out, very special occasion, but I can make better food at home rather than going outside. So why I need to spend 200 pounds going outside? Yeah, special occasions, anniversary, yes, definitely. But it's more like we cook everything at home, freshly made. Kids enjoy it. Kids get used to the food that we need to eat.
Yeah.
Not that chips and all those things. No.
But interestingly, you called your anniversary a special occasion. That must mean you're happily married. What's that like?
It's as you just listen to your wife and you're happily married.
There you go. Agree. Whatever paratha filling you want is fine. And talking of which, you were talking about paratha and on the weekends and cooking those up. What do you serve out, or is it like a selection? I just imagine living with a top chef would be. It's close to my dream. I can't think who else I'd want in the house, because I think I love music, so I can pick my own music. I know lots about music, so my soundtrack of my home is right. Obviously I love my wife, I've got my kids. I think the only thing missing is a top chef. Imagine that. It just opens up your eating to so many more experiences. So what goes down in the Duggal household where you're serving?
I think it's not nothing like that. The top chef, they eat a lot of things at one time. I love eating one thing at one time. I don't like to have like too many things eating. So that's how you enjoy your food. That's how you enjoy your breakfast. If you're having one thing in a breakfast, make sure you just properly enjoy it. You don't tend to have 3-4 different things lying on the table. That's not my kind of ideal breakfast.
What about thali though? What about thali? You wouldn't do a thali?
We normally tend to do like 1 or 2 dishes, and that's it. And we just keep it at home. Yeah, just keep it very dead simple. And the thing is that if you're gonna enjoy it properly, you need to enjoy 1 or 2 things, but not like 3-4 things are there and you're mixing it up and you're eating everything. Then you're not able to enjoy the the flavor, the depth of flavor of only a couple of dishes, not too many dishes. Otherwise you get confused. So just keep it simple, just keep it 1 or 2 things, and that's it.
It's a bit like speed dating, because when you're speed dating in a room, you're meeting all these people and they're telling you all these things. Oh, you went to university there, you went there, and you're like, oh, this is too confusing. What I want to do is just have one conversation with someone nice and just have a chat. That's it. It's romantic. It's a romantic relationship with food.
Oh yeah.
What you're getting at. Oh yeah, look at you. Oh yeah. So come on, I want to know the paratha fillings. That's what it is. I just want to know what goes inside it.
My wife, she loves making the food, so she's the main cook. She makes the main thing. I'm like an apprentice in the house.
Wow.
I do all the cutting, chopping, and everything, and she makes all the fillings. She makes everything, because you need to listen to your lovely wife, that what she's looking for if you want to live happily.
Yeah, the laugh says you've learned that lesson the hard way. Like, you need to listen if you want a happy life. Arbinder, again, you're a top chef. You were on Masterchef. You've opened restaurants. You've curated restaurants for people and their menus and all those wonderful things you do. Real fine dining stuff. But the fact is, when you're at home, your missus runs the show. And is she a professional chef? Does she do that for a living?
No, she cooks really well. She's from Amritsar, so she's a wonderful cook. So that's what I enjoy, and
that's great. That's really nice. That's really nice. And so, what is she? Is she an aloo person? Is she a mooli person? I feel like you're holding back on your front.
She's a mooli. She's a mooli person.
Okay.
She's the mooli person. I'm a aloo person.
Hey,
I always tell her, just make mooli, not the mooli one, make the aloo one. But no, she's a more mooli person. Yeah.
do you find mooli smells a bit like farts? I do. I like, when mooli's cooking, it smells a bit like bud. I mean, come on. I'm not the only one.
It tastes a bit awful, a little bit, if people are not used to that that aroma and that flavor. It tends to go into that direction. So
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. We are used to it. Yeah.
And are you are you also a fan? Is it sacrilege? Is this really bad? Like the old rolled up pronti on the go. Like the kind of, what do they call it? A puni? Yeah. What's the proper word for it? Something like that.
No, I didn't got you. What are you trying to say?
A rolled up pronta, when you put your sabji in the middle and you roll it up and you just have it on the go. What's that? A rolled up one? It's got a name for it. I think it's called something like I want to say puni. I don't know where I've got that from. I'll be making it out.
You should ask your mom again, because I'm not able to get it in my mind right now. What is it called?
Yeah, I just thought quick. I was trying to work out basically whether there's what your approach to food is, because I think from what you're saying, really, even though you do, I was looking at your Instagram as well, right? Arbinder, find Arbinder Duggal on Instagram if you just want to lech over really tasty food. It's _ASD_official. That's what you are. Now, you've got pomegranate sorbet and beluga caviar. And then here you are with your bug and your daddy, Arbinder saying, I'm like, I pomegranate sorbet. Get back to your roots. Go make us a nice kulfi. But you've taken some real steps. You've taken some real leaps from typical Indian cuisine. And what I thought was so amazing about you, which is why I wanted to have you on, is I saw you on Masterchef. I just happened to be watching that episode that day when you were doing some stuff in the grill, and Greg Wallace was like, man, you really can handle the grill. And I thought, wow, here's just a Singh with a bug who's cooking mainstream food. It's not like, oh, Arbinder, are you going to add a bit of turmeric to everything? Oh, Arbinder, are you going to add some cardamom? No. This is me, but I'm going to and actually, if I can be, hopefully not getting you or anyone else in any trouble, you were making beef on the grill that day, right? And I remember Greg Wallace went, wow, Arbinder, you really know how to handle meat. Oh yeah, as he does, and he does all that talking, and he goes, wow, this beef has been cooked to perfection, right? And I thought, oh, you're going to get Arbinder in trouble. He's cooking beef to perfection. These are the things. This is this weird world that we're in, where it's modern, it's old school. We're holding on to traditions and values, and we don't want to disrespect no one, but yet you're living in the Western world. You got to cook beef. How do you even stand on that? What's your take on that?
I think when I've arrived in the UK, so I worked in French restaurant for 8 years in central London. So working in a French kitchen wasn't easy for me initially. You had to face few things with people look at your appearance and they try to muck you a bit and tell you something. So I used to give them back straight away with a hard language, and they do understand that this person has got the skill, he has got the knowledge, so it's better to stay away from him and just So we learn a lot of things in the French restaurant, in the kitchen. Learn a lot of modern techniques, how to combine the flavors, how to build up the flavor profile, how to build up the texture on the plate. That it should not be one flat, smooth texture. You need to have crunchiness. You need to have tanginess. You need to have that umami texture in your mouth. So those are the things which I picked up in working in the French kitchen for the last 7 years.
You need to have your mummies. What flavor in your mouth? Umami. Your mummy. Mummy? No, I'm joking. Right. I don't know what the umami flavor is, if I'm honest. What is that? What's an umami flavor?
It's like when you eat Japanese and Chinese food. When you have the black truffle, it gives you that it's like a sixth sense flavor. So those kind of flavors that should tickle around in your mouth. So combining all those things with the root Indian flavors, and when you look in my Instagram account and you look on all the pictures and everything, you will kind of have a sense that what kind of food that I do. I do more progressive Indian food, which means combining the Indian heritage flavors and how to make it in a very quirky and a very progressive way. You know, a lot of restaurants, they say nowadays we are a modern Indian restaurant. We are modern. There is nothing modern. You go over there, you will have the same menu of the same wavelength.
Yeah.
You go in central London, every single, not everyone, but 80 to 90% of the food is on the same wavelength. So, you know, they say they are modern, but what's the modern thing about what you're putting it on the plate? You know, your menu is still, you have dal makhani, butter chicken, and all those things, standard menu that they have. But with me, it's I try to bring it a bit more quirkiness in the food. The way of presenting the food in a different way. Try to have a different flavor combinations and different techniques on the food, and try to see that how far I can go in that developing that dish.
Yeah, and do you think that is the French training in you? Because, okay, I'm going to stereotype here because I think we can. I've always said in many aspects, Desi people, Indian people, we're wham bammers. It's like, you know, like particularly Punjabi cooking, it's like, you know, my mom, and even when I see them cooking, it's throw the gunda in, throw the onion in, throw that in, throw the da-da-da-da. But it's still delicious because we know it and it's home cooked food and it's wonderful, and the flavors and the chilies and everything else, ginger, love it. But we do things like wham bam. Even builders, I'm going to say it, Desi builders will go, ha, chaluga, right? That's it, done. Whereas, you know, the French, the Italian, there's a finesse. Do you think you've got that kind of that approach now because of the French training?
Yeah, definitely. You know, that kind of training, which I had a very, very, very hard training in the French kitchens. You know, they have taught me how to organize, how to plan, how to bring the food to a bit more appeal to, you know, when I'm putting a plate of food outside to a guest and someone's in front of them, you know, they should feel that, you know, how much skill, how much effort. Obviously, the flavor takes a very important role in making the dish wow. But looking at it and making it a bit more finesse on the plating, it makes a difference. And that's what I've picked up in working in the French restaurants.
You picked up French? Can you speak? Can you speak any?
Not really. No,
you know, I don't. I kind of wonder what that would be like you know, Punjabi, Indian, Desi accent with a bit of French running through it. Can you do anything? Can you do it? Can you do?
No, I don't know. I don't know how to speak French.
But in the kitchen, you got to be all shouty and all that. So what shut your? All I know is shut your mouth. That's from my French lessons because the teacher used to say it to me. She goes, "Tommy, ferme la bouche, Tommy," which is just close your mouth. So I don't know if the oh my god, tu hana, tu ferme la bouche, kari. Tu hana, ferme la bouche. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There's a confusion of it all. So what is going on in food? Because this is a weird time, strange time. It's you know, I think everybody's getting a little bit self-reflective. That's a little post-lockdown thing where we're looking at our lives, looking at what we're consuming. And obviously during lockdown, we didn't eat out. Okay, we were, a lot of us were just eating at home. Things were closed. Only later on the eat out, help out, and all those other things. But I remember when I ate out after a year, the food tasted really salty, really strong. It was a Chinese that I went for. And it was like, whoa, I can feel like this is too much. I don't need this. It's when you come back, when you say, oh, actually home cooked food's kind of the way to go, and you cook a lot of home cooked food as well. I just wonder whether the future trends are that kind of return to simpleness or simplicity.
I think currently looking at the scenario, what's going on, it's more about the sustainability of a product. You know, you need to see that, you know, the sustainability is there. Don't try to source the things which are not available, which are hard to source by, and a lot of restaurants are struggling. A lot of, you know, the staffing problem is there. But the main thing is that is all about sustainability, all about what you can easily source and what you can put on the menu. You know, the menus doesn't need to be long menu. You go to a Bangladeshi restaurant or some other Indian normal takeaway, you will have like 90, 100 dishes on it. Do you think that they're able to cope up with the quality of the food that they're going to give it to you? No chance. There is no chance in it. So it's all about having a short menu, quality food, which you can easily dish it out with the less stuffing, with the less cost, with the less wastage of the food. And that's how the sustainability of the business need to be there.
Okay. Do you need your own restaurant? Because, you know, when you and I met, when we met up, when was it? Was that before lockdown, wasn't it? I feel like it's about a year ago, but it was probably about 3 years ago when we first met up.
Yeah, before lockdown.
And we just got up, and I'll be honest, I saw you on the show on Masterchef, so I reached out, we had a little chat, we talked about some ideas and stuff. But at that point, you wanted your own restaurant. But then since then, I've seen you're putting together menus for other restaurants as well, which is, I feel like, oh no, Arbinder, you're giving away your tricks. It's like, it's like Pep Guardiola going to another football club and giving them all the tactics, but then he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to go play for this team over here.
Yeah, the restaurant was definitely on the cards, but with the pandemic, a couple of investors who were interested with me. They've pulled it out because it wasn't viable economically to put up a restaurant at that particular time. But given to that, I did one kind of consultancy for one of the restaurants in East London, near Dalston, called Ottawa.
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah, I know that you've been there. So it's we opened up. I did all the kitchen designing, consulting, made the menu, training of the chefs and everything, and it's doing really well. That restaurant, it's doing amazingly well, and to a certain extent, last 3 weeks back, they got a Michelin plate for a good food.
Wow,
that was really good, and the menu is the same menu which I had it over there, and it was amazing feat that they have got a Michelin plate for a good food. It's called a knife and a fork that you get it. That is a one level below a Michelin star. So they have got that one. So it was a good good for the business, good for my profile. And if anyone is looking to have me and as a consultant on board, or want to have my brand associated with their one, you've got the complete product in front of you. It's Arbinder.
Yeah, it's all there, ready to go, and of course, high-end stuff as well. No, it is tasty. Their food was great, and it's a nice, quirky little restaurant. And I think so much of for me and my eating experience, it comes down to lighting, ambience, music, the person that greets you at the door, the energy levels. You can feel it in the room. It's the energy, right? It's kind of the vibe and the buzz about it. But it's also the simple little things. I like the fact that Adawa, the name of the restaurant was embossed into the naan. I mean, that was great. Like simple little things like that. I'm like, oh, whose idea was that? That was like, oh, look, it's got the name on the naan.
So idea, we were thinking that how we can brand. The branding is really important. Yeah. So that's how we came up with that idea. So it's not that I haven't seen very not many restaurants are doing that.
No. So just in case you've had a few drinks in the restaurant, you forget, where am I again? What am I eating? You look down at your naan. It's oh yeah, I need an Uber. Where are you? Hold a minute. Let me check my naan. It's like a little ID. Just keep it on like a business card. No, so okay. So you said there's lots going on in the scene right now, and there's lots happening. But where are you at then? Where are you now that lockdown's ended? Are you moving towards the restaurant idea? Are you happy with this consultancy role where you're a bit more free?
So currently what I'm doing a lot of private dining events. I'm doing tasting menus in people's house, cooking for ultra high net value clients. I've been a private chef in Lake Como in Italy for a very wealthy person. I was a private chef to him, but things are rolling out. I'm getting few approach from few investors, meeting them up, looking at the things that whether it's going to make a viable business. It need to make, at the end of the day, the business need to make a money for yourself. So looking at all the practicality of it, looking at the figures of it, whether it's going to make a money or it's not going to make a money. So few things, the talks are going on, but in order to get into the restaurant is a big thing. It's not that easy. You need to have a team with you, and currently with the staffing issues which are going around everywhere in the UK in all different sectors, whether it's a hospitality, travel, tourism, everywhere, like drivers, butchers are shortage, and there are a lot of things are going. So you need to think before you're going to go ahead with this thing.
Yeah, it is. Well, there's a big risk attached to it. And on that note, that risk, that pressure that you put on yourself, and even the pressure in the kitchen, I think chefs, a bit like sort of army people, you need to be total packages, because here you are saying, look, sustainability, you're thinking about, external factors, you think about ingredients, sourcing product. Yeah. I'm just comparing it. Look, as a presenter, as a host, we have producers, you have people around you that facilitate you to do what you do. You're a chef, you want to cook food, but yet it's down to you to get that ingredient. It's down to you to source that, the right time for the perfect artichoke or whatever it might be. So I'm saying, you have to be a sort of a 360-degree total package as a person and have a business head. That's a lot for one person, isn't it, as a chef?
It's a lot. It's not that easy. People, they think even when I go out for the private dining, if I have to quote a certain client the amount that I charge top end. The money that I charge is good, and on top of it, I always tell them that these are my call out charges for my day charges. If I'm going to travel, this is the traveling expenses. This is that. But lots of our people, they think, oh, why the call out charges are there? You're already charging for the food. But what they don't understand, when they call up a plumber or when they call up an electrician, they do charge an hourly call out charges to come to you, to your house. And people, they need to understand that the private chef and the caterer are two different categories altogether. A private chef is the one who's coming off his own, cooking for you personally in your kitchen, giving you the best quality of food. Whereas the caterer, the caterer owner is not coming and cooking in your house. Yeah, he is sending some other third-party guy to come and cook in your house, or in the hotels and in central London where all the weddings and everything happens.
Yeah.
So people had the misconception that the private chef and the caterer, they are two different things. But with our people, it's very difficult to tell them that these are two different categories of the things that are there in the market.
No, yeah, absolutely. Can I ask your opinion on something? Because it's popped into my head. We talk about fine, top-end dining. You probably know where I'm going to go. Salt Bay. This Salt Bay, Nusret, the new restaurant. Have you heard about where bills are coming out at 10, 20, 30, 40,000 pounds. Salt Bay, if anybody doesn't know, is the guy who sprinkled the salt down his forearm, went a bit viral. Leonardo DiCaprio went to his restaurant. Now, just this week, last couple of weeks, he's opened up a restaurant in London. Lots of celebrities going. What do you know? What's your opinion, first of all, before I give you a question on it?
It's okay. He has built up his brand. He's charging for his brand. And, why you buy a Ferrari and then you go out and buy a Ferrari, it's expensive. Still, you go outside and buy a Ferrari. It's as simple as that. There's a brand that he has created. Before going into in that kind of restaurant, it's an expensive restaurant. So it's simple as that. If the person is earning that money, why not? It's his brand. It's his hard work.
Hold it. Can you charge 30 quid for a Coke or whatever it was, 18 quid for a coffee? Is that? Are you saying? I just want to know a chef's opinion. I can argue both sides. Well,
Yeah. The thing is that there are a lot of different angles to look into it. He's not doing some amazing food over there. To be very honest with you, it's very like steaks and all those things. But the kind of hype and the kind of brand that he has created. I'll give you a simple example. If you go on Instagram, they call them so-called chef, but they are not chef. They are home cooks. They just sit in front of the cameras. They make food for two people. Keep on posting the videos every single day, and they think they are wonderful chefs, and they have like 1 million followers or 500,000 followers or something like that. It's the same thing. So they have created their brand on the social media. It's the same thing that he has created a brand in the social media, and now he's getting the rewards of it. What he is trying to show it to the people. We know that he's not cooking something technical, skill food or something amazing food. It's not that great. But it's the same thing. If you tell an Instagram chef who's not a chef, they are the home cooks. So you tell them to cook for 100 people, they won't be able to do that. Yeah. So someone asked me. I went to one of the restaurants in central London, and they asked me for a pop-up. I went to a proposal with them. Can I do a pop-up in your restaurant? And the general manager of that place, he asked me one very stupid question, saying that, how many followers do you have on Instagram? I said, how does it matter? You look at the profile, you look at the skills, you look at what I have done it in my chef career. I'm not a Mickey Mouse that you're gonna go on Instagram and you're gonna pull it out and you're just gonna have it. So this kind of social media has created a lot of influences amongst the people that who sees on the Instagram, on the social media, they are more skillful, they're more famous, but actually they don't have any kind of a skill in them. Being a chef is a totally different ballgame. It's not about cooking. It's about managing people, sourcing product, keeping the team together, keeping them motivating, missing your family life. The chef is a big thing. But when the people, they cook for 2 people or 3 people in front of the camera and they call themselves a chef, you know, they are not a chef, they are just a cook. So there is a difference between a chef and a cook. So
yeah, and a different a chef, a cook, and also an influencer, someone who's just got
Yeah.
a social media profile. So here's what I'm thinking now, Arbinder, we need to think about your social media profile, and I'm thinking about making you chaat bay, chaat. You sprinkle chaat masala down your right, or a chaat bay. You can just run
Yeah.
like bits of ambada achar just falls down your arm onto your pronta. You know, or they just dripping down off your. I don't, no, it's getting a bit nasty. But you get, or off your foot, dal bay, off your foot, down your foot, off your toe, into your. It doesn't sound that appealing right now, but I think if you get the right feet, maybe it could work. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to open you up to more followers and likers. I'll stop suggesting stuff, and I'm going to let you go because I know you're busy, and I also know this won't be the last time you're on. You know me, food's a big part of my life, and I love talking to passionate people about food, and also and there's so much more we can talk about, and we will in future podcasts if that's okay. Is that all right? Can we catch up again?
Pleasure all mine, Tommy. Thank you so much for this thing here. Thank you so much, Tommy.
Bro, it's always great talking to you, and I wish you all the best. Keep doing what you do, and one day I'll have you over here, and we can all have a bit of a cook-off in the house. But
sure.
I'll make you my my famous my famous sausage sandwich, and you can do some of your kind of fancy sorbets. It'll all even out in the end. It's all balances out. Yeah.
No,
thank you, Arbinder. All right.
All right. Take care. Thank you. Thank you, Tommy.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I heard, genuinely, this is just as a fact, I heard that if you hit subscribe to this podcast now, if you have subscribed on Apple or on Spotify or on JioSaavn or wherever you are listening right now, if you are subscribing and getting that on a regular, which means you get the little notification when the new episode comes out, fact, this is a fact. Don't tell no one else's. If you hit subscribe, you can eat as many jalebis as you want and you will never put on weight. I know. I don't understand the logic. It makes no sense to me. I mean, how's a podcast relate to the DNA way in which your body breaks down jalebi sugar stuff running through your cell? I don't understand. But what I do know, it's a little cheat to life. So if you like jalebis, then you should hit subscribe to this podcast. Oh, and follow us on social media too. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow us. Eat jalebis. Be happy.